You know, what makes a town truly thrive? What makes it a great place to live? Well, you might be surprised to hear that one of the best answers comes from a Christmas movie that's, believe it or not, over 75 years old. In this explainer, we're going to use It's a Wonderful Life to unpack a huge economic challenge that affects pretty much every single one of our communities today. So, what can a classic film really teach us about our modern economy? Turns out, a whole lot. The story of George Bailey's Bedford Falls holds this surprisingly relevant lesson about where our money goes and why that one simple fact shapes the future of our very own towns. Okay, so the film basically gives us two versions of the exact same town. And these really represent two competing economic models for any community's future. On one hand, you've got Bedford Falls, which is all about community. And on the other, you have Pottersville, which is built on extraction. Now, this isn't just about a different mood or a different vibe. They are fundamentally different economic systems. One is designed to circulate wealth, and the other, it's designed to concentrate. So, in the Bedford Falls model, the Bailey Building and Loan, it isn't just a bank. It's more like the town's heart. It's the community's engine. The whole idea is that money should serve the people who actually earn it. Local savings get loaned out to other local folks to buy homes, and that creates stability and shared success. The money just keeps circulating right there in town, benefiting everyone along the way. Now you compare that with Pottersville. It's a completely different story. Here, one guy, Mr. Potter, controls all the capital. Instead of people owning their own homes, you get rent dependency. All the money flows up to him, and then right out of the community. See, Potter isn't just dangerous because he's rich. He's dangerous because he hoards capital and stops it from moving around, which, in the end, just sucks the life right out of the town. So here's the bottom line, the crucial difference. Bedford Falls works because money circulates through local ownership and, trust. Pottersville fails because that same money is extracted and concentrated through centralized control. It's simple. One system builds a community and the other one just destroys it. Okay, so let's bring this out of the movie and into the real world. That core lesson is happening right now, in our own towns, through a concept that economists call the leaky bucket problem. First, I'm going to throw a number at you that might kind of blow your mind. A pretty typical town of about 25,000 people has roughly $1 billion in annual consumer spending power. That's not a goal. That money already exists. The problem isn't a lack of money. The problem is where it goes. And that brings us to this idea of the leaky bucket. It's a really simple metaphor for a powerful force. See, when you spend your money at a business whose profits leave town, that money is like water leaking out of your community's bucket. The town doesn't get poorer because people are spending less. It gets poorer because that money doesn't come back. And the scale of this leak is staggering. Some studies show that as much as 85% of that billion-dollar spending power now just leaves our communities. It gets funneled out to corporations headquartered thousands of miles away, leaving just a tiny fraction behind to circulate locally. So who are the modern Mr. Potters? Well, they aren't necessarily single individuals. They're the national big box stores, the massive online marketplaces, and the out-of-town landlords whose business models, just by their very nature, are designed to extract wealth from local economies and send it somewhere else. But there is a powerful solution to this leaky bucket. And you know what? It works just like a modern-day Bailey Building and Loan. It's called the local money multiplier. The local multiplier effect. It sounds complicated, but it's basically the magic of a healthy local economy. When you spend $1 at a local business, that owner then re-spends it on local supplies, on local employees, or at another local shop. So that single dollar gets passed around again and again, creating $3, maybe even $4 of economic value before it ever leaves town. It's this amazing compounding positive effect. And here's the really good news. We don't need some radical overhaul to fix this. The goal isn't perfection. It's just about making small, conscious, and collective shifts in our spending habits. And it's way more achievable than you might think. Just look at the power of a small change. If that town with $1 billion in spending redirects just 10% of it back to local businesses, that's $100 million that stays home. And with a pretty conservative 3x multiplier, that generates $300 million in local economic impact. And get this, no new taxes, no outside funding needed. So ultimately, it all comes down to a choice. Every town, sooner or later, becomes either a Bedford Falls or a Pottersville. And that future is decided by countless little decisions that we all make every single day. You see, George Bailey's true gift to his town wasn't cash. It was a system that kept money connected to the people and the community it was meant to serve. He kept it human, and he kept it circulating. And this is why we have to reframe how we think about all this. Shopping local, it isn't charity. It's not just a nostalgic, feel-good thing to do. It's a strategic investment in your own community's stability and independence. It's economic self-defense. The choice really couldn't be clearer, could it? With every purchase, we're choosing. We're choosing between familiar faces and faceless transactions, between local ownership that actually cares about our town and absentee control that only cares about its bottom line. One choice regenerates our community, the other extracts from it. Because in the end, every single dollar we spend is a vote for the kind of town we want to live in. So, the question is, what kind of town are you voting for?